Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that's been on my mind for quite a while. It's not the first time. And it's about being raised in a dysfunctional family or in a dysfunctional environment. It could be the school system. It could be many things, but you grew up in that. A person who grew up, I'll say you, but I don't mean you personally. But, and where there is some sense of powerlessness, some sense of any type of power that you should have, like to just say, do not step over my boundaries, it's not there. It's not allowed to be there. You are at their mercy. Okay, such as when a person is raised in a family where let's say the father, the dad, is very controlling and believes in using, what is it called, corporal punishment. And so whatever they feel like, whatever he feels, you're doing something wrong. You're not doing it the way that he expects it, and it doesn't even have to be anything that you've done wrong. You know, you will get beaten. Now I know some people are going to say, spare the rod, spoil the child. By the way, that's not in the Bible at all. That is not in the Bible. The Bible does no reference to hitting a child. Okay, there is none. But people will say there is. Look it up. But there's none. But some people use it as an excuse when it's you're teaching a child that being aggressive whenever somebody does wrong to then physically abuse them is okay. No. And you don't know how that child feels it. You don't know how long, if not a full lifetime, that is going to affect that child. So, okay. Sorry this is bumping all around. I try to fix it, but it's not working. Jumping all around. But a child that that is taught that if they say anything, like they disagree or they don't want to do that or they don't want that or whatever is the case, and they're taught that if they dare to say what they want, dare to act as though they're human, and have certain rights, deserves things. I'm not talking about a spoiled child. I'm talking about just a child. And they're taught they cannot do that because there is risk of severe, harsh punishment. And I attended a school system that was like that. Oh my goodness, bad. And they had to stop because one of the coaches paddled a teenage girl, and it was harsh, and he was sued, and so was the school. So they stopped it altogether. No corporal punishment. So, and it's wrong. It's flat out wrong. But people who, now let me get back to this part. Some people who were raised in this, where they did not have a voice. They could not complain. They could not, some people could not cry. Or they were told, I'll give you something to cry about. That kind of thing. I'm not much on crying myself. Yeah. And like I said, I went through a school system where you were constantly worried that you were next. Okay, even though you hadn't done anything. Sometimes it just seemed like they just wanted to show this is what happens. Okay, it never happened to me, but, there was always that fear. And I've mentioned that before. But there was no learning from this. There was no learning of how to deal with situations, as a child and on through life. There was not that implanted in the brain early on that you have a right to your own body, you have a right to your own ways of wanting, things you want, how you feel, your opinions, and how to argue, how to debate. I was on the debating team, by the way, when I was young, and I mentioned that before. They said that because I was female, and that I'm female, that I couldn't debate. That was back in the late 70s, early 80s, and I said, why? My favorite question as a child was why. I want to know why. Got me in trouble, but I want to know why. I still ask why. That's one thing I did learn. Why? I want to know why. Tell me why. But anyway, they didn't want girls because we were female. Plain simple. That was it. It was the coach that was on some other coach that was, ran the club, and he should not have been. Anyway, because all his answer was, because you're female. You're a girl. So, anyway. Okay. And one of the reasons it's on my mind again, and it wasn't the only reason, there was some before, is that when I really felt dehumanized by my doctor's office, really, seriously, and that was a new doctor to me, except that I had had a phone phone, what do they call it, appointment with her, and had forgotten, because she was, at the time, just filling in, and anyway, but I remembered her. Feeling dehumanized and feeling like it reminded me that so often those of us who haven't learned how to do this, we have more of that fear that we're going to get in trouble. Okay, I've done a video. One of my first videos on this topic was about that, close to one of the first. But we're going to get in trouble. Okay. And we do know that these kinds, like the mean girls that are adult mean girls, and, narcissistic, whatever, cluster B kind of behavior, they have those, or maybe they're diagnosed, I don't know. But that they will find ways to turn it around on us. We've learned that. We've learned there's punishment. We have learned it's going to be turned around on us. We've learned that the system doesn't always work for us. The system, goes for those who know how to play the game. They know how to manipulate the system. They know how to manipulate, like if a police officer was involved in something. This happened to me when I was younger. A friend, she's no longer a friend. She wasn't after that. But she really did me wrong. Well, she was very petite. She had been a model. And they told me, she had basically locked herself in my apartment with her baby. And I couldn't they said, you can't go in there because if she calls and says that, you're doing it, if she turns it around on you, then you will be the one that will go to prison. They told me that because I'm tall and I'm strong-bodied, and she was real skinny and with a baby. But they said that the whole thing was that her. They didn't say it was with the baby. They said her because of the size difference. She was really petite, really skinny. I mean, she was beanpole skinny. At one time, she was weighing 70-something pounds, and that wasn't healthy. But anyway, but she could have done it because she knows how. She would be one that would know how to do it, to turn it around. And we know, I see her ever since then as a mean girl. And I've said it before, I cannot stand it. This is jumping around so much today. But I've said it before that I've had a lifetime of seeing these types. They have a narcissistic and histrionic blend of behaviors. And they generally come from, the ones I've known, they come from dysfunctional families too. They're just the ones that turn bad, that turn evil. And really, the ones with that histrionic blend to me are pure evil. Okay, really. They want all the attention on them. They don't care, and so on. But growing up learning that they are going to win. They are going to turn it around. They're going to smear campaign you. They're going to manipulate all the others who are important in whatever situation. Do we ever learn, really, how to handle a situation? Because we know it's already, excuse me, so much noise there, but everything's against us already. It's lined up this way. The world is this way. Is it the world? I think so. I think that many of us who are the ones who are more empathetic, and we have empathy, we actually know what it is and express it, even if we don't know the name, but we know what it is. We are the ones that, how do I put it? Often are the ones that aren't like the majority. Okay, we're not your average Joe and average Jane. Okay, something is different. It should not be. I should not call it a challenge, because it's not. The only reason it's a challenge is because others make it that. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to give any examples, because some people think that, I've said this before, think that, oh, then I can pick on this person, or I can treat this person wrong. Oh, I didn't think about that. Here's another way I can get another target. You know, I could try them. See what I'm saying? Okay, anyway, now stop this. I won't jump around. But I was thinking all these things, and this is not my first time to hear even this, but when I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, I printed out a scholarly journal article about dysfunctional families, but the problem was that my printer went haywire, and when I went to read the first page, the first and part of the second, and I don't know how many pages it was several, I couldn't even read the title anymore, and I haven't reprinted or gone and looked, but basically it was talking about this kind of thing. And that wasn't my search. My search was just for a dysfunctional family, but it came up this about, and what little I could read, I only got through part of the first, I could only read part of the first and second page, okay, and it was basically about how we, people in dysfunctional families, okay, mister, I can't get in. Talk about somebody stubborn, that it's a real narrow drive as it is, and I was trying to let him go. He could have gone, but nope. So anyway, real life happens in the middle of the video. Okay, I have my mask on, so I'm going to sound funny, but like I said, that article, I think it will be really good once I go back online and get it again, at least the first 2 pages, so I can read it. But I got, it did trigger some memories in me of, maybe it was back in, as I was an undergrad or graduate, that was a long time ago, years and years, about this same kind of thing, about talking about, well, I do know that I learned, this about some people, they grow up in this type of family, they don't know there's anything outside of it, okay? But some believe that this is the norm, is to be in a dysfunctional family is norm, and they have friends. And also, it carries on throughout their lifetime. They're going to be in similar situations. And I think many of us have heard, you get in a relationship with the parent, you get in a relationship with someone who is just like the parent that was abusive. Now, I don't think that's 100%. I'm not a type to believe that one size fits all. But one of the things that article, I think it said, like I said, I was having a hard time reading because my printer went crazy. Was this of, the powerlessness will carry on, in relationships and, with people. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship or marriage or whatever. It's just any relationship that can carry on that whole feeling of, and whole experience of not having power in relationships. Okay, and you might hear people say, don't argue with a narcissist, but too many people put too much under just that one word. I've said that on and off throughout, if not always, throughout the years that I've been doing these videos. They're not all narcissists, okay? And to me, it's more that the cluster Bs are more just like, these are the ones that do more more of this kind of behavior than the other one, but all of them maybe fit under borderline. Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, where was I? But yeah, it's more about, I think more of them should be under one, well, they are in a way, cluster B, the cluster B personality disorders. But really, when you look at it, from what I've even heard, okay, I don't know all that much about just borderline. And then you hear there's so many different types of borderline. People with, with that personality disorder, what they tend to do. But really, they say that they do borderline on psychosis, they're psychotic, and they borderline on all of the cluster Bs, and or not the cluster Bs, but all of the personality disorders. I don't know. I mean, to me it seems like, yeah, they all fall under that, and it's just which one is more, which category they tend to express certain behaviors under that, like narcissistic behaviors or histrionic behaviors. But really, I've seen, I've known ones who were diagnosed with it, but they had more of the narcissistic histrionic blend that showed up. Okay, that was expressed. Yes. Okay, to get back to this. Those of us who are raised in that kind of family, when do we ever really learn? Plus, like I said, there's something that's different about us and the other people. They usually are the average Joe, average Jane. Not all of them are bad, but that are average Joes and average Janes, or Jones, whatever it is. But they often they're not bad looking. They're not exactly good looking. They usually have a flaw. It's usually on their face. You can see it. But you can tell these were the ones who wanted to be the most popular and were somewhat denied for that flaw. This has been my experience. Okay, and I'm not even going to say what is a flaw, because I just disagree with that whole mentality that because somebody has something different about them, that they deserve less. Okay, that's the whole thing in all this. But these are the ones that took that and went very angry, became very angry, and so they start picking on people who have any kind of flaws, that they see, that they determine are flaws. They're taking out their anger onto somebody else. Okay, they were done that way, so they're going to do it to somebody else. Okay, and like I said, how can you defend yourself? It's already stacked up. Is it stacked up or stocked up? Stacked up against you, because they know how to manipulate people. They need, when you're an adult, it's a little bit different. That really it would be like a judge or a police officer or something like that. You don't have a principal, they are the principals. But I mean, and if it got down to that, they know how to manipulate. And it's so much a part of our culture. I'm a social and behavioral scientist. It's so much a part of the culture, in certain cultures, where appearance is too much of an importance in who wins whatever. Appearance and money. Okay? And, I mean, it could be either or. I mean, there are other ones too. But I think the two main ones would be appearance. If you come off looking... if the person comes off looking better than the other one, okay, or if, like I gave that example, the one that was the model against the one that's more of a, I call myself a gentle giant, so, yeah, and that one would win, okay, no matter, in many cases, if not most of them, or all even, so, pardon the blinker. But so what do we do? I mean, I'm not giving any answers. I'm asking questions, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. These people can be dangerous. And danger is not just physical. They can mess you up. Like if you run across these mean girls and you don't know how to handle the situation at work, say, they'll get you fired. Okay, they know how to manipulate the bosses. They know how, really bosses need to be people who have been through it, who know them, who have studied narcissistic abuse, who've studied these cluster Bs, and can see, okay, whenever somebody does this, then yeah. But no, usually they win. In my experience in life, I can't say that 100% across the board. I have not seen any scholarly journal articles on who wins. My experience in life, though, yeah, they win. They know how. So the big question is, how do we handle it? That can be dangerous, and that can happen. But, and so I'm not going to I don't like it when people give one solution. This is how you do it. In something like this, no. There are different people, there are different situations involved in all these. One size is not going to fit everything. If somebody says that there is, yeah, what are they wanting? Money? Are they going to get something from it? If they come up with that one answer, it works for everybody. No. I've done enough videos on that, but yeah, those are usually the charlatans. That old-fashioned word, charlatans. Snake oil salesmen, snake oil saleswomen. And they just believe that they can do that and tell people, and that people give them hope, and they'll send them money, or somehow they'll benefit from it, somehow, some way. And often it's money, often. And they gain more and more popularity by giving those one answers that everybody is looking for, of how to do this, how to handle it, how to, I think a good way to start is an actual counselor, not these life coaches, but someone who's an actual counselor who had to go through, I know some people say they're good life coaches. I haven't seen any yet, but I haven't even tried. But an actual licensed professional counselor, whatever it is where you live, that it's actually licensed. They have to go through all of so much just to become that. Not just decide one day to put up a, little slate saying I'm a life coach. Because I've experienced it. Well, guess what? They probably have to. Or at least somebody, a loved one. Now that, there's research on. Yes, counselors are not naive to this, generally speaking. So, okay, you just need to do your homework and find a good one, if you can. I'm not here to give anybody any advice. But, anyway, this is on my mind. I have a whole lot of more videos. I had made notes to have several videos on dysfunctional families and in-laws, and I've had more and more reason lately to think that I need to switch to that topic. Of course, do my other ones too, but here and there. But I looked up to see how many I had done on dysfunctional families over the years, and overall, not that many in comparison to other things, but I think it was 80 something that are public, 83 or 4, somewhere around there, that are actually public, that had the word, when I searched, family in it. So, and the combination I saw, in-laws, yeah, I want to do more on in-laws too, and siblings, sibling rivalries, sibling abuse as an adult, and I try to steer clear of, childhood in my videos. Let's just say that you grew up in a dysfunctional family and you were treated poorly, and you were the scapegoat or the black sheep. And some think they're both, but not always the case, and so on. Anyway, I think I should wrap this one up. I'll talk to you on another video. It's bouncing around again.